New day, new possibilities, still winter outside. It was that chainsaw, the Homelite C-5. Well, there it is. What I did yesterday, I took off the carburetor, 2 screws, and I changed the needle and the needle seat. I used the parts from an older Homelites zip, I think it was, or it could be from a Solo X, not really sure. A carburetor I had laying around, because I found out the seat was leaking on this carburetor. The rubber under the seat was hard or worn out, and I still didn't mount the choke. I'm going to do that. So I tested it late yesterday, and now it seems like I have some result. There's a little split pin going down there, keeping the choke in place. So I tested it. Now I'm tightening the screw a little more here with an 11 wrench and a little bit of this. Oh, should be in a 10 wrench. So I remember wrong. I thought it was an 11. I just adjusted the high needle hair and the low needle hair a little bit too much in. Normally it's 1 1/4 out on low and 1 1/2 out on high. I used to do that. That's the most common fabric settings. But this time I put it a little more in, because it's just a hunch I have. I fine-tune it later on after I experienced the behavior of the chainsaw. The problem was that it wouldn't like to run continuously, and as you could see on the film, it died. But it was something about the needle and the needle arm and the needle seat, and maybe the flotation of fuel after it's open the needle and into the venturi chamber. But I airbrushed it when I took out the needle the first time, and the needle seat I airbrushed it to blow opening in the channels. You should not overdo the airbrushing, as I understand, because it can affect the check valves or one-way valves inside the carburetor. So don't overdo this with full air pressure power. So I tried to do it a little gentle, and I don't think there is a flotation blockation in the carburetor at all. It has been ultrasonic cleaned. And it seems like it's okay. So the first time I changed the seat and the arm, and I put the arm that had this fork on, lifted the needle instead of this floating needle that go up when the arm is opening. This has a fork, and I put a new type of seat inside. But then this wouldn't close good enough, so it drowned. That was the second attempt in evening yesterday. But then later into the night I changed again and put this needle seat and needle from what I told was a Homelites zip or a Solo X, and pressure tested it. It's open, it's popping on 5 or 6 psi, and it's leaking a little, so it's not perfect. it's not airtight, but maybe it's good enough now. But that's the service I did on the carburetor. And anyway, I order also a new China carburetor, which I think I can modify the choke and the speed to fit in this. So a complete new carburetor for an affordable price. I will test that if necessary. If not, it's okay to have this carburetor, because I have a lot of chainsaws that have HL carburetors, and McCulloch's, for example, 200 I have, and I have also a McCulloch 53 that I don't get to run continuously. So that China carburetor I can use for this one, or other chainsaws. So you can modify and experiment and make something so the choke and the speed handle could fit into the chainsaw easy. And as you can see, it's a very good room around here, so often no problem. Also chain the fuel line from this turnaround over here to have an output here, so the fuel line will go straight down there. That would be more logical, and then you would have a shorter fuel line, and it would have fewer turns. So actually, to make it not have a bend here too sharp, I put the fuel line inside to make it more stiff. That's the fuel line I find on my archive. So, and it functions. A little creativity you need to have to get these things together. And the starter cup I damaged a little. I need to tighten those screws a little, I can see. In a hurry, try to make this, and I didn't tighten this starter screws good enough, and I lost a screw there. Hopefully I will find it again, or if no problem to find another one, but it's always good to have the original screws. It's a kind of a good feeling, that's all. But I have other Homelite screws that looks vintage and is the same, because I have a lot of parts, Homelite chainsaws, but this I have only one of, the Homelite C-5, which is a rare chainsaw. So it was a 10. No, it's not a 10. I was right. But it's an inch. So the 11 is not perfect. Those American in millimeter is between 10 and 11, and I don't know the American systems. I don't know what size that means. You have this critic system, that inch system. Better tighten the starter cover. I did something wrong with the starter cup. Actually needed to fix it, because I broke the seat of the starter cup when I mounted it. It's very easy to do on those chainsaws. And I was eager and quick to put the starter cup on and tighten the center screw, and then it cracked. Because they have some 3 tracks it needs to go down in. And now this for choke, this splint going down that little hole. It's very simple stuff, but it's very small hole. Oh, this is a brass splint to keep the choke in place. It's no more mystery than that. But then to enter this small hole with both the pins could be a little bit of a challenge. Oh, I broke it. Well, but I will do it with only one pin. I can replace it with whatever later on. As long as it stays on place, it's doing its job. And it will stay in place there. So, there I have screwdriver to adjust it. Put choke on, start on, and see what's happening. That progress. Not perfect carburetor, but it's maybe good enough for me to saw, and it's a starting point that looks good. So I'm comfortable with that. It's leaking a little bit, the carburetor. It's not optimal, but it seems to work, and it started, and it can be adjusted more good. Now I didn't adjust it at all, except for what where I put it as an intuitive get-go, which is a little bit too much in compared to what I usually do, and it seems to function for now, and that adjustment. Working. Very cool, this thing. Now I go on my second floor on the garage and find a bar